Welcome to Frugal Friday Tips. This is part 2 in our 3-part series on how to save money on groceries. And these tips and strategies, you do not need to be near a Kroger or an Aldi. I am so excited about tonight's program. Hi, I'm Hope.
And I'm Larry.
From Under the Median. As I mentioned, this is a 3-part series on how to save on groceries. This is our program that we call Frugal Friday Tips, where every Friday we bring you quick, easy ways that you can spend less and save more. Now, if this is your first time joining us, we want to just give you the really quick snippet about who we are. We raised our 4 sons debt-free on an income which was consistently under the U.S. national average income. Along the way, we learned to save money, but most importantly, we learned to live with a spirit of joy and abundance on a budget. So, saving on groceries. First, I have to tell you guys, I am seriously psyched for this program. I am going to be totally geeking out because this topic we're going to cover tonight is one that I've done extensive research on just because I find it so fascinating. What are we going to tell them about?
Well, here's what we're going to cover. We're going to cover number 1, know how to use your store flyers. Number 2, how to shop at the store. And number 3, marketing. How stores and manufacturers are tricking you into spending more money. Would they do that?
Yes, they will. And yes, they do.
That's awful.
So that's actually the topic that I am fascinated with, and I have done so much research into that topic because I just really find it very interesting. So let's start with some store flyers. I actually brought some examples from this week. Now, I know we said that these tips are appropriate even if you're not near a Kroger, but the Kroger store flyer happened to have something I was interested in. So you're going to see that this fruit is offered at a great price. This is $2.99 for 3 pounds of mandarin oranges. Now, the first thing you need to understand about store flyers is that about 80% of that store flyer you are seriously going to ignore because a lot of this flyer is just high price, processed junk food that you don't need to be bringing into your house in the first place. Now, I know that's hard to hear, but overpriced junk food that is reduced just a little bit is still kind of overpriced junk food. They haven't changed the quality of the food, they've just lowered the price a little bit. So don't be fooled into buying things that really aren't good for you because ultimately you will wind up spending more money if you buy processed foods, all right? So that's the first thing you're gonna do is ignore 80% of this flyer. But here's where I do want you to look on the flyer. This front panel is where store flyers will showcase what are called loss leader items. Loss leader items are specific items that the store is literally taking a loss on, right? So they are selling it to you for less than they actually pay for it. Now, why would they even do that? Why would a store sell something for less than market value?
Well, they're assuming that once they get you into the store, you're going to buy more items that are not loss leader items.
That is correct. It is a marketing strategy to get you into the store. So they're going to offer you these seedless mandarin oranges, 3 pounds for $2.99, because that's a pretty good price for mandarin oranges. And they're hoping while you're in there, you got your handy dandy grocery list and you're just going to buy all the other items that you need that week at the store because you're already in the store. So the goal is to get you in the store. But that's not to say that loss leader items are a lost cause, right? You should pay attention to those, but you should make sure that those loss leader items are front and center on your grocery list. You walk in, get what you want, and walk back out again without buying any of the rest of the really high-priced stuff. Now, I'm going to show you another example. This actually is Hy-Vee. So Hy-Vee is a Midwest regional grocery store. So unless you live in the center of the United States, you probably don't have one. But I wanted to show you an example because this is not Aldi and this is not Kroger. This is a regional grocery store, and you can see right there broccoli and cauliflower, and that's not per pound, people. That is actually per head of cauliflower and per big bunch of broccoli. I walked into Hy-Vee and I bought 3 of the cauliflower, 3 of the broccolis, and walked back out again, and my total bill was just under $9. Now, that cauliflower and that broccoli is going to feed my family for the entire week because my whole menu plan is going to be centered around, guess what?
Broccoli and cauliflower?
That is correct. Broccoli and cauliflower. There's so many different ways you can serve broccoli and cauliflower that your family is not going to get tired of seeing it on their plate every single night, because you're not going to serve them just steamed broccoli and steamed cauliflower. You're going to serve it a myriad of different ways, and they're not even going to realize that the centerpiece of your whole menu plan this week is cauliflower and broccoli. So that's one of the ways that you're going to use this store flyer. You're going to look for those great marked down deals. Now, the next thing that you want to do is focus on those sales, and I'm going to tell you that sales fall into two different categories. What do the sales fall into, Larry?
Well, the two categories are cyclical and seasonal.
Now, what do I mean by that? All right, seasonal deals are items that fall to the lowest price seasonally. For instance, here in the Midwest, you're going to find the lowest prices on strawberries in late February, March, a little bit into April. You're going to find those strawberries plummet in price because that's when they're ripe. They are seasonal. You're also going to find cabbage. You're going to find cabbage around the middle of March, marked way down because March is the time for St. Patty's Day.
Yes.
And we're all going to eat cabbage on St. Patty's Day because we have Irish ancestry. So like we eat cabbage on St. Patty's Day because that's our ancestry. But even if you're not like Irish on St. Patty's Day, you're still going to eat cabbage because that's what you eat, right? On St. Patty's Day.
Absolutely.
And marketers know that. So they're going to drop that super duper low. And you're going to find cabbage at about 28, 29 cents a pound. And you're only going to find it for about 10 days in the middle of March. That's what I'm talking about. When you buy items seasonally, you're going to get super low prices. And the most important thing you can do is buy a bulk of it, and then you can preserve it by freezing it, put it in your freezer, and then you're going to be eating strawberries that you paid $1 or $2 per pound, and you're going to be eating those in the middle of November when that same bunch of strawberries is going to cost you $4 or $5 a pound. Only you're going to be eating your inexpensive strawberries because you bought it when it dipped to that lowest seasonal price. Now, cyclical. Here's where this sales cycle comes in, all right? Mm-hmm. So this has to do with items like pasta and beans and even like almond milk. Larry and I have discovered almond milk has a sales cycle. These are not generally produce items. Usually these are like more shelf-stable items. And you're going to find those follow a specific sales cycle. What is that cycle? It depends on the item. Sales cycles for grocery stores run either every 6, 8, or 12 weeks. So what you have to do is figure out what you're looking at. Let's say pasta. I can tell you that around here, the sales cycle for pastas, usually every 8 week or every 12 weeks. And you're going to see that pasta dip in price again. And they're going to be offering you a pound of pasta for 50 cents. So you're going to make sure that you buy enough to get through at least to the next sales cycle. But mark on your calendar when that pasta went on sale and look ahead and see. I'm telling you, it will go on sale again right in alignment with that sales cycle. So once again, those sales items are either cyclical or they are seasonal, and you want to look for both of those deals and buy when the price plummets.
Let's talk about how to shop now, Hope. The first item in how to shop is to shop less often. Now, we found it a little more profitable to shop once a month. And that way you're more deliberate about what you're going to buy. You tend to buy a little less in some ways, but you kind of bulk up. And you have to really plan when you're only going to the store once a month. So that means you got to check your stores, see what you have on hand. And you just want to top off what you really need. Yeah,
and Larry and I have talked about this. Our goal would be once a month. Do we do it?
No,
we don't.
No.
It's always been our goal. Those of you who are out there, and I know you are there, because you've left comments and said, yep, I only shop once a month. I want to hear from you in the comments section and say, yep, that's me. I shop once a month, because my hat is off to you. I have always tried to strive for just that once a month huge shopping trip, and then maybe a little bit of a shopping trip, little mini shopping trip once or twice throughout the month, but I have never gotten there. Even when all 4 kids were at home, it was like every other week was the best I was able to do. But that was always my goal. My goal was once a month. So I want to know, are you one of those once a month people? Because I really admire that if you're able to stick to once a month. And one of the questions people have asked us is, if you shop once a month, how do you do fresh produce? I really honestly believe that you have to just go in for that really quick in and out shopping trip. If you're shopping all your major deals once a month, you have to go in and maybe every 8-10 days at the most.
Yeah, that's where I kind of mentioned on the last video that I might go shopping and buy maybe 5 items. That's kind of what we're talking about. Because we'll bulk buy a number of different things. Beans, oats, rice, all these kind of items we'll buy in bulk. So we don't buy them very often. We'll buy 50-pound bags if they offer it. And then, so we're just kind of going to fill in with some of the other items.
And if you want to know exactly how and when we bulk buy, we did a whole video on it that showed you a shopping trip we took to our local Amish community, and we show you what we've got. So we're going to link that up above and in the description of this video so you can watch that a little later. All right, so what's the next thing we want them to do? This is how to shop and how definitely not to shop at your grocery store.
Well, you want to use a prioritized list, and then you want to stick to it.
Absolutely.
And that could be a real challenge.
So I'm going to show you a couple of options for shopping lists. So this list, let me see if I can hold it up here. All right, so at the top of this list, you're going to see that I have a checklist. Literally, there's a checkbox over here, and this checklist is going to tell me whether I am ready to walk out the door to go to the grocery store. Have I done all of those things at the top of the list? And then this list is divided into perishables and pantry items. So that's one option for a shopping list. And then whoop, at the bottom here, I have a place for coupons, whether I have a coupon, and for some notes. Now, here, I also have a second possibility for a shopping list, and you will see here that I have the option to record the store I'm going to, the item, the size, and the quantity, and the price that I should pay when I walk out of that grocery store. So those are a couple of options for shopping lists. If you like those forms, by the way, they are available in my Menu Planning Made Easy ebook, and I'm going to put a link to that ebook up above and in the description of this video so you can check that out. All right, what's the next thing we want them to do or not do when it comes to shopping?
I've heard this recommended by many people. Don't shop hungry. Have we ever done that?
Oh my gosh, yes. And like our shopping bill was astronomical because we're walking through the store at 5:30 at night going, ooh, that looks good, and that looks good, and that looks good. Holy Toledo!
Not a good idea.
No, bad idea. Do not shop when you're hungry.
No.
Next.
Well, the next item is you want to buy markdowns.
Yeah, you do. And I know that so many of you said, either you live in a locale where markdowns are not even available, coupons aren't available, but I just want to let you know, yes, it's important if you have coupons available to look to see if there are coupons available for the items that you intend to buy. And a lot of the coupons now are digital, of course. They're not even paper coupons. So there's no reason not to be able to find and use coupons.
And along with that, you want to follow coupon matching sites.
Yeah, so I have a couple that I really like. I know Kroger is not the focus of this, but there's a couple of ladies that do a really great job with Kroger. They're called Kroger Crazy with a K. All right, so I'll put a link to their website in the description of the video so that you'll be able to find them. But that's probably one of my favorite ones. They're one of the few coupon matching sites that I follow like religiously. I follow them all the time because they will tell you when there are digital and paper coupons available for the things that are also already on sale at Kroger. So see if you can't find one of those sites and make sure that you follow them.
And we really don't use a lot of coupons. I mean, most of the items that we buy are not name brand. And a lot of coupons are for prefab foods, which we don't buy anyway. We tend to buy foods that are pretty much single ingredient foods to begin with. So
Absolutely.
So that doesn't really include it. But for those of you who do, that's one thing you can do. The next item that we put into practice, and this is kind of a hard one because it's a little hard to work this into the budget, and that's reserve 20% of your food budget for stocking up. And that means you might not be able to spend everything that you want to at the store at the time you're shopping.
So I recommend you take your whole monthly grocery budget, divide it by 5. what that does is allow you to save 1/5 of it, which is 20%, for stocking up on those really great deals. Like, let's say that you find strawberries marked down to $1 a pound. You might go buy like a flat of strawberries, and then you're going to freeze most of them, of course, because strawberries don't last very long. Or you're going to find pasta for 50 cents. Well, you might go in and buy 10 boxes of pasta. So that money that I set aside is specifically for stocking up when I find those really great deals. Now, that leaves 80%, which of course you can take that 80% neatly divided into 4 even sections, and each one of those sections of money allows you what you have for about 1 week of grocery shopping.
You know, that reminds me of a little bit of a funny story. We have a Big Lots in our town. I don't know how nationwide that chain is, but they had our favorite coffee on clearance. And this is an unusual brand. I don't know if you've ever heard of U-Ban, but that is a really good coffee. It's like an Arabica coffee. It's really good. And we bought out all the cans they had, and we filled a complete shopping cart with U-Ban coffee. Now, we were putting our house for sale, so we had our realtor, and he was up in the attic, and he was looking at, like, what would we have, about 15 or 20,
I don't even know.
20 cans of U-Ban coffee. I bet he wondered what in the world were we planning on, like World War III or something.
Well, he knew us well enough by then that he looked at it, he goes, let me guess, you got a really good deal on this coffee.
Yeah, that's right.
We were like, yeah, how'd you ever guess? We got a really, really good sales price.
I can't remember what we paid, but it was at least half the price of what it usually was. So when you get a good deal like that, it's nice to have some reserve money for it.
All right, number 8.
So the next thing you want to do is shop the perimeter.
Now, you're going to shop the perimeter because that's where the real food is. That's where the single ingredient foods are on all those exterior walls of your grocery store. You're going to start at the produce department, which is generally at the front of the store, and you're going to literally work your way around just the perimeter of the store. All of those interior shelves, that's where you're going to find all the foods that are manufactured foods. Now, I'm not going to say you're never going to go into those aisles. We go into those aisles some, but when we walk into one of those interior aisles, it's for a specific reason, and it's because there is something in that aisle that is on our list that we know we're going to get at a really great price. And I'm going to tell you this, if you disagree with me, you're welcome to nicely disagree in the comments. But when you buy prepared foods, you are ultimately going to spend far more than you will if you purchase mainly single ingredient foods. I'm going to give you an example. A large bag of potato chips is going to cost about $4.
Mm-hmm. That's if you get it on sale.
A large 10-pound bag of potatoes is going to cost you about $4 on sale. Now, which of those is going to feed your family longer? How long does it would take our boys to inhale a bag of potato chips?
Oh, about 1.5 nights.
Maybe, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking 30 minutes.
No.
He has more faith in our children than I do.
That's because you keep telling them not to get into them.
Yes, it's true. So that bag of potato chips is not going to last you very long. How long is it going to take before they're hungry after they've eaten those chips?
Oh, about 30 minutes?
Yes, exactly. Now that 10-pound bag of potatoes, you can feed a family of 4 for about 4 nights on a 10-pound bag of potatoes. So believe me when I tell you that whole single ingredient foods are going to feed your family more healthy food, and it's going to keep them full longer because it's got a lot more fiber. It's better for them, and it's going to cost you less money in the long run.
Yeah,
All right.
While hope was thick, I bought a 10-pound bag of potatoes, and that lasted us the entire time you were down. I baked a few at a time, and she kind of guided me through what to make to kind of fill the potatoes. So we had stuffed baked potatoes. They're really good.
Now, why is shopping the perimeter becoming increasingly hard to do? It is, and I'm going to tell you why. Because stores are deliberately making it more difficult to stay on those exterior aisles. So what they are doing is putting in much shorter shelving units, and they are skewing the shelving units so they're not, like there's no aisle, there's no firm aisle through any different departments anymore. In order to get through a department, you have to literally weave in and out of shelving units. Now, why do they want you to do that?
Well, they want you to be shopping the higher priced items.
They want you to see all the items they have available. And so that is quite deliberate on their part to change the way that the store is arranged so that physically to get from one end of the store to the other, you've got to pass through more departments of the store. And that is why that is that way anymore.
To help you track what you're doing, we recommend you take a calculator. Now, fortunately, most phones have a calculator built in. So that becomes pretty easy. But we actually do this. We'll go through, we'll have a set amount that we want to spend in a store, and we'll start adding it up as we go.
Now, that is why it is super important to make sure that this shopping list that I told you about earlier, that shopping list is prioritized. You want the most important things that you really have to buy at the top of that list. Because as you make your way down that list, if you get to the bottom and you're running out of money, those are the items that you thought, if I can get this, great. If I can't, well, it's not going to end my day. So that's why prioritize. You'll hear us say that word again and again. Because I love the word prioritize, but it works in order to have the things that are most important to you at the top and the things that are not quite as important toward the bottom of that list. And that's why I keep telling you that. Hey, here's a quick reminder for you. If you are liking these forms that I've been showing on this grocery shopping series where I'm showing you how you can save money at the grocery store, all of those forms are available in my Menu Planning Made Easy ebook. And there will be a link to that right in the description of this video. All right.
Our next tip in regards to how to shop would be to use cash. Did you know that you spend 12 to 18% less by using cash?
Now you know that we are fans of cash envelopes when we have gotten out of whack with our budget. If I all of a sudden get to the end of the month and realize, oh shoot, I overspent the grocery budget or any other part of my budget, then I'm going to take that grocery money, I'm going to take it out in cash, I'm going to put it in a cash envelope, and it works every single time to get us back on track.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about the 15 ways that we succumb to sneaky marketing.
I am so excited. Guys, my inner geek is about to come out. Seriously. I have read so much on how marketers market to make us want to buy their products. Now, does that mean marketers or stores are evil? No, they aren't evil. They're trying to make money. So I'm not saying that this is necessarily a horrible, immoral thing they're doing, but I'm saying as consumers, it's important for us to understand what they're doing and to be aware of it so that we don't inadvertently overspend on things that we don't actually need. All right, so let's get started. The first thing that they do is
bigger stores mean spending more money.
The physical footprint of stores has astronomically expanded over the past 30 or 40 years. Gone are the days when you have those cute little stores where you walk in, get what you want, and walk out. No, you have megalith stores. They are huge, and that is by design because, did you know, Larry, they have done research, and they have discovered if you make the aisles a little wider, if you make shopping a little more pleasant, if people don't feel like they are like crammed up against other shoppers, which we don't want to do right now anyway, right? Then they will spend more time and therefore more
money
in the store. Bigger stores. That's the first thing they do. Sneaky marketing. All right, number two, what's the next thing they do?
They provide larger carts.
Yes, the size of carts since 1970 has more than doubled. Grocery carts. Did you know that?
I did not know that, but I did notice that Sam's provides huge carts.
Yeah, and so does Costco. And it's not just Sam's and Costco. You're going to find much larger carts at places like Walmart or even Aldi. The size of their grocery carts has gotten significantly larger over the last 20 or 30 years. Now, why is that important? Well, the first thing that a place like Weight Watchers is going to tell you when you join Weight Watchers is to actually serve your food on a smaller plate. Why is that?
It makes it look like you have more food.
Yeah.
It's psychological.
Absolutely. And so is the shopping cart. It's psychological. You got a big cart, you want to fill it up. And that's exactly why they do it. Third sneaky thing they do.
Well, I have to say I kind of like this one. But
yeah, he does.
A lot of stores provide samples. Now, right now, they're not doing that. But if you provide a sample, I kind of feel kind of guilted into buying the item. I don't know why, but I do. So, and then you're tasting it, and then again, if you go to the store hungry and you eat the sample, you're gonna want to buy it.
Oh, you're just gonna, because it's gonna make your life so much better and
Oh,
so
yeah.
convenient. And look, it's hot and ready, and you can take it out and just go home and eat without actually cooking any food.
And you got that large cart to fit it in.
Yeah, that's so true. So there you go. So samples, there's a reason that they give samples, especially if you take your kids with you. Oh, heavens to Betsy. Your kids try something and they like it,
Oh, yeah.
and you're like, no, honey, we're not going to buy that. No, they know they're going to sell more of whatever people are sampling. Next sneaky thing they do is...
They provide more local products.
Now, I am a person who loves to shop local. And grocery stores have actually figured out that for people like me, if they say this is a locally sourced product, it came from, look, here's the picture of the farmer. Here's the name of his or her farm. Here's a picture of their family. It came from 40 miles from your house. That someone like me is going to be more inclined to buy that product. Is that a bad thing? No. For people like us who really want to support local small farms, that is important to us. But it's still a marketing campaign that you need to be aware of.
The next item has to do with product placement. They'll do the eye level marketing. Now, for children, you notice they'll put stuff down on their eye level so that they can see it readily.
What's the number one aisle that they put stuff at?
Cereal aisle.
In the cereal aisle.
Yeah.
All those really sugary, like crappy cereals are right at your kid's eye level. Either when they're standing, you got a little 3-foot tall little person with you, or right at the level where they're sitting in the cart. That row is right there, and that is on purpose. Now, for adults, in our aisles, they're going to put it right at eye level. So you can see the products that they most want to push and they most want you to buy is going to be right at eye level. Now, that's not always the least expensive product. So we tell people when you walk in the grocery store, you have to be prepared to look high and look low. Most often, if it's a bulk item, it's going to be all the way on the bottom shelf. Now, does that mean that's the least expensive way to buy that item? No, not necessarily. You know what you have to do to figure out whether you're getting the best deal? You got to get out that calculator. And you need to do the math to find out which product is actually giving you the most bang for your buck.
Yeah, we'll take an item and we'll divide it by ounces or grams if you're in Britain. So that will tell you exactly what you're paying for. And then you can compare that to other brands or even their generic brand to see what the value of that item really is. It really helps level it all out for you.
Now, the next sneaky marketing thing actually explains why they have certain items at eye level.
Well, there's slotting fees, and manufacturers pay for special places to put their items.
Did you know that? The amount of shelf space in grocery stores is measured per foot, and manufacturers pay what is called a slotting fee in order to have shelf space in that grocery store. Now, this has been parlayed back and forth, and this is in America. So if you're overseas, I don't know if this applies to you or not. But this has been talked about back and forth, whether this distinctly puts small manufacturers at a disadvantage and whether this is a fair system. But as of today, the system still exists so that manufacturers are paying for shelf space. And that determines where their items are placed.
Yeah. Let's talk about end caps and upselling.
Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with an end cap are those short shelves that are right at the end of the aisle. So you got an aisle going this way, and you got a shelf that's facing you, and it's a small, short shelf. And it's right at the end. That is an end cap. Now, here is the good thing and the bad thing about end caps. End caps are often used to make sure that you can find items that are in the sales flyer. Mm-hmm. That is absolutely true. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking for a sales item, sometimes it will appear on that end cap. Here's the not so good thing about the end cap.
Yeah, sometimes their higher priced items will be on the end cap because they figure you're going to think the cheaper items are on the end cap all the time.
Just because it's on the end cap doesn't mean it's on sale. It just means it's for sale. So don't assume because you see something on the end cap that that's actually a really good screaming deal. It may be, and it may not be.
Now, you were talking about wide aisles, but I've noticed this more and more in stores where they're putting up special displays in the middle of these aisles.
Yeah.
And once again, it's almost a psychological thing. You think, oh, if it's in the middle of the aisle, it must be a good deal because there's a special display and they're kind of highlighting the item. And sometimes that is true, but sometimes it isn't. So you gotta pay attention.
So you're absolutely right, Larry. They're going to give you that little wider aisle, but every once in a while they're going to put something in there that make it like an obstacle course where what do you have to do? You have to take your cart around the obstacle. And when you do that, you're automatically going to slow down and go, ooh, I wonder what's on there. And you're going to slow down and you're going to look at it.
Yeah, we rarely ever buy anything from those displays. Think about that. We
don't often.
No.
Now, the other thing that stores are going to use these end caps and these special displays for are what is called cross-selling or cross-marketing. And here's what happens when that is the case. Let's say that pasta is on sale. It's that sales cycle, and they have dropped the price of pasta to 49 cents for a pound of pasta. So you're going to see that prominently displayed on an end cap. But Larry, what else are they probably going to see on that same end cap?
Well, they'll probably have pasta sauce.
That's right, because you got to have your pasta sauce to go with your pasta.
Yeah.
And what else?
And maybe some French bread.
Yeah. So what they're trying to convince you, standing in that moment of time before that end cap, is that you want to make an Italian dinner and you want to make it for supper that night because they have everything there for you to make that Italian dinner. Now, here's the trick question. Is the pasta sauce and the French bread on sale?
Oh, no.
No, it's not. The only thing that is on sale on that end cap is your pasta. Just because you see items grouped together in order to encourage you to buy more than one type of item that go together does not mean that everything is on sale. It can merely be for sale, but it's not necessarily going to be a great deal. So don't be fooled.
And then there's a point of purchase racks.
Okay, these are called POP racks, point of purchase. These racks are those lovely racks of items that are right in the aisle where you are checking out. You're standing in line, you got your cart, you're looking at those smarmy magazines that tell you that somebody just broke up with somebody and they live in Hollywood and you're just convinced it's absolutely true. Yeah, not. And so right next to those though, you're going to see items that are called POP items, point of purchase. Most of the time it's what?
It's at the checkout counter.
It's at the checkout counter and it's gum or it's candy or it's something that truly is not a need in your life. So they're banking on a couple of things. They're banking on the fact that you're going to have your kids in the cart and they're going to be getting a little fussy and you're going to be going, here, take this. And you're going to get it for them, all right? They're also banking on the fact that you are stuck in that line for a while. What is the one place in the grocery store where you're stuck for any period of time where you physically can't move? The checkout aisle, and that's why that is such an important space. Now, the third thing that they are banking on is the fact that you're going to look at those items and you will have been inundated for the past 30 minutes with trying to make your way through the grocery store, make your way through your grocery list, and you are suffering from what is called decision fatigue. It's an actual word. Decision fatigue allows us to be in a position emotionally and mentally where we go, whatever, just put it in the cart. That's decision fatigue. And that's what POP is all about. And believe it or not, when we talk about slotting fees, that checkout counter, the stuff that is up there, is the most highly sought after place in the grocery store. And although every other shelf space is measured per foot, it is measured per inch at the point of purchase checkouts in the checkout lanes.
That's awesome.
All right.
Yeah. The next item on succumbing to sneaky marketing is a store layout that encourages browsing.
Yeah. There's those wide aisles. They encourage you to slow down. Enjoy your grocery trip. Think pleasant thoughts. Think about dinner. Think about what you'd really like to give your kids for dinner that won't take you more than 30 minutes to put together. They are deliberately designing grocery stores in order to encourage not shopping. No. Browsing. Because we've talked about this before. When we browse, we buy. And they know it. All right, what's the next thing they do?
Scented aisles.
Yes. Have you guys, I want to know in the comments, have you ever experienced this? Now, we did just the other day. We were in Kroger. We're in the produce department, which, of course, where I hang out most of my time in the grocery store. And one of the boys, Daniel or Philip, was with me. I can't remember which one. And they looked at me and said, why does it smell like cinnamon in here? They were deliberately piping cinnamon smells into the produce department. Now, why? I know they were. So produce doesn't really smell, right? I mean, yeah, it does a little bit. You're next to fresh pineapple, you can smell kind of a little, but you don't have this overwhelming scent thing like you do at the bakery, right? You're in the bakery department, you know it. So in the produce department, they were piping in this cinnamon smell. Why in the world would they do that? Because research has shown them that warm smells like vanilla and cinnamon make people want to spend more
money.
Yes. They do. So that's why all of a sudden you're having this resurgence of grocery stores that are piping scents in through the vents, and you are smelling scents while you are shopping because it helps them to sell you more items. What's the next sneaky thing they do?
They work with colors. Certain colors can cause a calming or a pleasant effect.
And you know what color that is? Blue. Does this make you feel calm?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there you go. See, it's working. It's making him feel calm. Blue or green is a calming. It makes you feel contented. And statistically, when there's more blue or green, that's why they'll paint the walls of the grocery store with some blue or green hue, because it makes you want to spend more money. Now, there are also some colors that are warm colors. Larry, what are the warm colors?
Red, yellow, and orange. Those are kind of attention getters.
That's right. So you have my attention with this red shirt. I'm just saying, you have my attention. All right? So red makes you pay attention. Think about those markdown stickers at Kroger. They're orange or they're yellow or they're red. They've got all those colors on there because they use what's called your peripheral vision. So this is your vision outside, like not your direct vision. This is your peripheral vision. And even if you are not directly looking at an item, the colors red, yellow, or orange will catch even your peripheral vision, and you'll go, oh, what was that? And you will turn and you will walk over to see what the deal is. It's designed to make you, that's why stoplights are red, right? It's designed to make you stop and pay attention. And that's why they use those for sales stickers.
Have you ever noticed the music that's playing in the stores? Typically, they'll even play oldies music.
Yes, for people like us.
And it's usually up-tempo, and that puts you in a good mood. And if you're in a good mood, maybe you'll spend a little bit more money.
That's right. Music is one of those ploys. You ever notice like there's no dead space at a grocery store? There's no there's never a time when there's not at least some kind of music playing. And that's because if they play music that is up-tempo, you're going to spend more money. Mm-hmm. All right, what's the next sneaky thing they do?
This is a device that they've used since the beginning of time. They always end a price in 99 or 97 or, in that vicinity. So you say something for $4.99, your brain turns it into 4 when it's really 5.
Yeah.
I always round them up. I'm a little too smart for him.
He's cool. He knows. He knows how this game is played.
I'm on to him.
That's right.
But that is a ploy. It's especially true even buying gas. Right now it's 3.089 in our city, and it's 3.09. Let's get real.
Yeah. So it actually is statistically. It has to do with the way your brain works. Your brain looks at the whatever digit is on the far left of the price. That is what your brain sees, and that is what your brain registers. It doesn't register that 97 or that 98 cents or 99 cents. It registers the 4. If it's $4.99, your brain says, oh, it's $4. And they use that all the time. Next sneaky thing they do.
And this they've been doing for, I'm thinking they've been doing this for at least 10 years now. And that's data tracking. Well, how do they track what you're buying? They issue you a rewards card, or I know Kroger does this. In fact, all the stores were doing this for a while. Hy-Vee does it. And of course, Sam's has a card that you use. Whenever you use a card, it's recording your purchase, what you're buying. They know what you're buying specifically.
And I've mentioned this before. I've mentioned, of course, they are tracking your data. That's what the card is designed to do. You have to decide whether it's worth it to you or not to get the extra savings to give them all that information. You need to know, I'm willing to do this or I'm not willing to do it. I will say that with Kroger, I tell people go ahead and get the Kroger card because they are fantastic at marketing directly to you and sending you high value coupons for the things that you regularly buy. And for us, that's produce. Produce coupons are hard to come by. And so they are constantly inundating us with coupons to help us save even more on the produce that we are buying at their store. But you have to decide. Yes, they are tracking your movements. They know what you buy, and they are gathering data on you. It's the same thing when they send you those special coupons or they let you accrue fuel points. That's what those store loyalty cards are designed to do. Mm-hmm. So that's all 15 really sneaky ways that marketers on stores are encouraging you to spend more money on their products. Now, this was part 2 in the series. I want to remind you that part 1 will be listed in the description of this video. So make sure that you go back. If you missed part 1 last Friday, go ahead, go back, watch part 1, and make sure you get that information before we move on next week to part 3. That's our final part. Next week, I'm going to talk to you about menu planning and how most of you are probably menu planning the wrong way. I do what is called backwards menu planning. I'm going to take you step by step through exactly what that means. Then I'm going to also give you some tools that I use in my kitchen every week to save time and therefore to save money in the kitchen. Make sure that you give this a thumbs up, give it a like, leave us some comments in the comments section. And hey, if you aren't subscribed to Under the Median, well, you want to make sure you are, because every Friday it's going to tell you, oh, Hope and Larry just dropped a new video, and you're going to want to make sure that you don't miss it. So subscribe and hit that bell notification button, because that's going to make sure that YouTube lets you know we just uploaded a new video. We'll see you next week for the next Frugal Friday tips.
And I'm Larry.
From Under the Median. That sounded kind of weird, didn't it?
You know, that's the first time.
I know it does.
Yeah. Let's do it 4 or 5 more times.
Okay. So they're going to have that displayed there. But what else are they also going to show on that same rack where they're showing their pasta?
I have no idea. I don't cook pasta.
Well, let me tell you.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Now the other thing that stores also use these special end caps and the special, crud, what'd I call it? Displays. Okay, so you're gonna have an end cap. It's gonna have that pasta on there. But Larry, what else is that end cap probably also gonna have on it?
Well, it's probably going to have French bread.
Yes, and what else?
I got pasta sauce on the list there. You were just talking about pasta, so how could is that the other
Pasta
item?
sauce.
Pasta sauce.
Oh my word.